For all you job seekers out there who aren't getting hits, if you're like me, you've done everything you can, the homework on yourself, the resume crafting and recrafting, maybe you've even reached out to old classmates or family who have connections to see what's out there for a company who might give you a chance simply just for who you know. I know that my resume is gold, and so are my interview skills. If you're highly motivated and consistent with the application and research process while also taking advantage of all your resources at the same time, all this rejection likely has absolutely nothing to do with you. I truly wonder why I don't get these jobs sometimes. I'm overqualified, I'll work for less, and I even send thank you notes after interviews. Bottom line, there are many reasons why you didn't get called back for another interview or why they virtually threw it in the trash before it hit their desk. None of them mean you have low value or aren't employable. The testament to how hard you want it just proves how much value you've got in a world of endless work. O keep your head up, I've said the same thing myself before. Do not take rejections personally. It neither validates nor denigrates your professional or personal worth. They may not choose you for a long list of reasons, and they are not going to tell you over a rejection notice. Just some of the possibilities include they are looking for a different keyword they didn't include on the ATS, like knowing a specific something they were just told they had a firing freeze so they had to reject everyone they decided none of the candidates this round was good enough, repost the job soon. Someone at that company is your mortal enemy and decided to sabotage your chances of getting hired. That's paranoia. They didn't like your name too boyish, too girlish, too Asian, too black. They didn't like the font you used in the resume. It happened. Note, see exceptions below. And bajillion other reasons why they rejected you because of something. The economy is no longer set up to allow everyone to earn a living. Do not take rejections personally. Seen a lot of people say this, but I mean it is a personal thing. Especially when it keeps happening. The longer it goes on, the longer these dudes are keeping me in poverty, keeping me on the welfare system. How am I supposed to not take that personally? We forget that the people interviewing are flawed humans too. Most don't even know how to interview properly or how to read people. Also, a 30-minute interview is completely inadequate to measure someone completely. Other candidates may offer something specific that the hiring people are looking for, and that's not to say you're the problem. You might very well be a solution that they're not ready for yet, and you intimidate them because you're just too good. Never let interviews and rejections determine your worth, but always be open to receiving feedback and constructive criticism to improve upon. That's the mark of a fantastic employee, the ability to learn and grow even in the face of opposition and obstacles. This is why I have stopped applying to jobs and am just waiting for a vaccine to be widely distributed. I've worked on my skills and done some volunteering with the ample time I've had this year. But the most responsible thing any of us could do was just stay home and keep ourselves and others safe as the economy shuttered and deaths rose. I wouldn't want to work for any company who looks at the gap on my resume and says, "Why didn't you work for most of 2020? I think I might actually respond, "What's it like to be totally oblivious to the outside world?" I kind of stopped applying, but I have been looking for jobs online about once a week and sending them out that I feel I am fit for. There isn't a whole lot of positions out there right now. This one company reject me, took it personal. I thought they didn't want me because they volunteer work on my resume or had that mindset, to go beyond what the actual job called for. Soon realized maybe the culture wasn't for me. The guy who they end up hiring had a tone-off volunteer experience. I'm lucky in that I'm at least currently employed, but I've been a very close second 3 times with having feedback that there's basically nothing I could have done better. That's on top of having at least 600 rejections at this point to boot. The last one has been the worst, with being sent the benefits package and hitting interviews 4 and 5 of meeting with head of marketing and the VP of marketing only to be told JK. I'm honestly just fed up and broken from this. I've been second a few times too. Including being second for an engineering job at Toyota. Both of us got invited up to Michigan to interview, but the other person got it. I was so heartbroken. It sucks, but you're not alone. Right on, keep your head up. No white flag, no surrender. Okay, sure thing there. Nice little post composed of Pinterest feel-good slogans all cobbled together as a gift to the jobless sector of humanity. Instead, I would suggest doing this: learn some programming languages, manipulate the truth regarding any burned bridges in the past by modifying friendly ex-coworkers' positions and or making up new ones to cover you for references, expunge any criminal history if you have the necessary extortion money needed to pay off your local judicial syndicate, earn or pay for some relevant online certifications, realize whatever the hell you went to school for or spent years doing might now be irrelevant and freaking adjust your trajectory, learn Chinese. It's not as hard as it seems, dye your hair, get in shape and dress currently if you're older because yes, it matters, take a pay cut and do a different role if it means getting a gig that will propel you into the future instead being flung against it, always say you're working to potential employers even if you're not, don't ever bring up personal situations or concerns about a job that might be difficult regarding your family obligations or health situations, don't take a shitty job or even apply for one if you can avoid it because it may come back to haunt you. E.g., year ago I was in a bind, applied to warehouse-based company for PM/CMS role, found another much better job before that one started. Last month new recruiter calls me, dangles the most money I've ever seen in my life for a contract I was 90% qualified for. We talk for an hour. Dude loves me. He can't wait to submit me the next day. Next morning early he calls me, angry. Saw my info in same mega database as that warehouse gig a year before. Interrogates me about a job I never took. Wondered aloud why I even considered that job. Red flags, he said. Hangs up. Never hear from him again. I called the recruiter from previous year and had them remove profile and job offer. But too late for the highest paying opportunity I've ever seen. That sucked. Asterisk uproot your life and move elsewhere if you're not part of the current work from home economy and your local scene sucks. Asterisk kiss the asses of people you don't know on LinkedIn, but do it smartly. For instance, if the person has a blog or holds webinars or does anything in a public fashion. Follow and compliment and engage them before hitting them up for a referral to their company. Asterisk surround yourself with successful people even if you are currently not. Asterisk be willing to take a risk or do something completely out of your wheelhouse. Asterisk create fake sterling profiles to dilute the talent pool and then ghost the employer if and when you get offered a job so they end up scrambling and you look suddenly attractive. Asterisk negotiate your rate or salary and never give the impression you getting this job is the best thing that's ever happened or is something you can't be lured away from. Asterisk be more physically attractive than you are right now. It matters. Asterisk end, fake it till you make it. Always. T absolutely wouldn't say you're working if you're not. That's bad advice because it is a lie. If a hiring manager catches you in one, you're done for at that company. To find out whether or not Simeon was employed at that time is relatively easy. Continue this thread. Yes, this is exactly it, and only after getting past your insecurities and understand what is happening and why, you can actually start getting those jobs you look for. Yeesh, imagine having all that, great interviews, and everything you said but with a minor speculation on your record. Impossible. Even as a nurse in these times. I always say THST if anyone knows of or manages a facility to please message me. I completely agree with this post. However, the way you say your resume is gold makes it sound like a static document, which it absolutely should not be. You should be tailoring it for each position, and that doesn't just mean swapping keywords in and out, that means adding and subtracting bullet points, rewriting them, emphasizing and de-emphasizing certain skills. All in the name of showing the person reading it not just the ATS why you are qualified for the job immediately. But again, missing out on a single job is not your fault. A lot of it comes down to numbers. My suggestions just make your chances a bit higher. I agree that resume is gold landed a bit oddly with me as well. It is probably worth repeating that even Harvard graduates and / or insert your favorite living or non-living former president here would not necessarily get every job he or she applied for. It is never about accomplishments alone. Which is sort of off / your point, I guess. But, as you said, numbers game, numbers game, numbers game. From someone who was hired and makes small 100 employee or less company hiring and resume reviews 1. Earlier the better. After the first day we get so overwhelmed by resumes that most get discarded after finding the top 52. Tailor it to the position, a quick cover letter stating your skills and experience that match the position in bullet points 3. Answer the damn phone. We have so many candidates that we call to set up an interview that don't answer the phone and their VM is full. Emails especially going through Indeed or Craigslist bounce and or go to spam for major corporations. I have no fucking clue how they do their hiring. I don't think they do either. I've went through the interview process with a few big auto companies, most of them spend the money to make it a smooth process. The GM person I interviewed with a few years ago, one of the nicest and most knowledgeable hiring people I've ever met, but GM has more money than God so they can afford it, I guess. I've crafted and recrafted my resume a lot. I'm getting jobs I don't want. All this rejection likely has absolutely nothing to do with you. The rejection has everything to do with the hiring team thinking that you are not a good fit for the job you applied for. It is not personal. Unless someone at the company already knows you, you are an anonymous person and the rejection has nothing to do with you, it just doesn't look like there is a match to continue. The hiring process is just a filtering system. Get blocked by any step of the way before your first day, and the process stops. I am finally free, but with a cost. This is a story for those of you who feel trapped or lost. I just left my job, which was so toxic that I have developed medical problems from chronic stress. Down to my last day, I was diminished by those people. I finally said no more of this shit and made it happen, in the middle of a pandemic. Which is crazy. I am privileged to be in the position to have already found a new role. But last night I woke up sweating 4 or 5 times. I was dreaming about the torment I endured over the last several years. Don't stay too long, it is not worth it. Ever. Trust and believe in yourself. I wasn't in the same shoes, but I have had a boss that made an otherwise great job turn into a nightmare. Even years afterwards, I would wake up in a cold sweat thinking about that job. Good on you for making it out and finding a better place. What you describe is like my job last year. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I don't know if I would have survived. The toll those people in that job took on my mental health was monstrous. Lockdown, as miserable as it is, came at the perfect time and saved me from an abusive workplace. I got to enjoy work from home and later moved and found a new job. I wish I had the guts like you do to have actually put my foot down, stand up for myself, and leave on my own accord. You deserve to be congratulated for having the integrity and courage to stand up for yourself. It's so important, and I hope your old co-workers start to feel what they're missing in your absence. Sounds like you did leave on your own accord. Give yourself some credit. Which job though? I mean if you're comfortable saying. Twerk in Finance Analytics. Continue this thread. Sending you a virtual high five. I put in my 2 weeks this past Tuesday. I have never slept better than I have this week, it's a huge weight off my shoulders. I just left my toxic ass job too. There's always been someone to put me down. They make fun of how hard I work and call me all kinds of names. I'm so sad there's people so empty and so immature. I'm tired of having to be a doormat everywhere I go. The one time I defended myself they said I was threatening them. As a leader, I cannot stress to all of you new managers, make your fellow employees feel appreciated. An occasional thanks so much for your hard work tonight or a good work today. I appreciate it really goes a long way, because as the OP proved, they can and will leave in a heartbeat. I started this new job beginning 2019, I was transferred to a new service internally because they needed help. It was a team of 6 people but everybody had left but the manager and his assistant didn't see the red flag. For a whole year I managed the work of 4 people, I worked on all evenings, weekends, and half off my 2 weeks annual holidays. I didn't do anything else than working, no friends, no girlfriend, no hobbies. Come my performance review, they don't give me anything. Not a penny, not even a thank you. Thanks to my dedication I managed to get 70% of the workload of 4 people done. The remaining 30% wasn't critical and it didn't generate any problem. They used the fact that I didn't do those 30% to justify not giving anything. During the performance review, my manager's strategy was basically to destroy my self-esteem to push me to accept not getting anything. He began the meeting with "You have a lot of self-confidence, but..." and he proceeded to destroy it. I didn't like the way he did that. It felt vicious. I would have preferred if he had told me "Good job but I can't give you anything." Since then they have blocked me from learning new skills, refused any training I asked for event ones I need to do my job. They refused to give me *anything registered trademark. I did a burnout and I now live in constant fear of my next performance review. Even this morning I woke up dreading it. I take meds to cope with chronic stress and other health problems related to my workplace. I've been taking them for so long that they are starting to do some damage to my body, so that I need to take other meds to protect me from those damages. TM actively looking elsewhere of course, but in the meantime, I'm wondering how I can deal with what seems to be company policy to prevent people from progressing so that it doesn't ruin every aspect of my life. Literally wake up in the middle of the night, drenched in a cold sweat and in fear, heart racing and actual thoughts of murdering my manager racing through me. Head will never do it of course, I don't want any problem, but if law didn't forbid it I would do it 100%. I sacrificed about 2 years of my life for this company, got nothing in return, and I even ended with health problems. Continue this thread. What new job did you find? It's actually similar to my old job, just a much more progressive company. I work in finance analytics. This is awesome. Kudos for taking the step to get out of that environment and finding a new position. I was once in a toxic workplace too. I tried and make it work for about 2 years but constantly being demeaned and derided, often for no legitimate reason, started taking a toll on me. Being positioned in a different city also didn't help much. I deliberated on whether it is a good idea to quit without anything in hand. Fortunately, my parents were supportive of the move but I still thought I could make it work a few more months, get my raise and then quit. I was wrong. I eventually hit my trigger point and decided to take a stand and quit, increments be damned. Served my month and a half of notice and returned back home. Again, took me about 2 months but I found a new job. More importantly, I had chosen to stay back a few days in the city after quitting to say my goodbyes to folks. It is in these few days that I recuperated and also ended up meeting the love of my life. So not only did quitting lead me to a better job, it gave me enough time to court my future wife. Happy to hear your story. I just put in my notice to a fairly good job. But it is just not for me. Here's to new beginnings. Cheers. Did same thing 9 days back. This shitty company made me feel that much dumb, I can't describe. I'm above average in my college studies and excelled in getting quality internships too, but just because of the MNC tag I've joined this company. Here people who don't know shit about basic programming are coming up with flying colors. I've even seen so-called 5+ years experienced programmers here who didn't even know about Stack Overflow lol. And the way my supervisor talks to team members during Scrum call is pure shit, like we're some kind of gutter-crawling insects. Fkoop this shit. I've put down my papers 9 days ago and currently serving their 3 months of notice period. 3 months is insane. So sorry that's even a thing. Hey, race to hoping the rest of your time there goes quickly and as painlessly as possible. hoping wherever life takes you next is somewhere where you'll be appreciated. 3 months? What country? Continue this thread. I have been in your exact shoes when it came to toxic jobs. I left a union job due to it being way too toxic and too many backstabbers. I was one of the few who pushed to keep bettering myself and gaining more earnings. When they found out I was working another career job on top of the union job, things got bad. I'd come out and find my vehicle with stabbed tires, busted windshield, etc. If any of the guys saw me in town, they tried to start a physical confrontation. This was all due to me leaving the union for a management salary job that allowed me to increase my worth and to pursue something that I actually enjoy waking up to every day. It wasn't just the job they were attacking me for, it was the fact I was volunteering myself to leave the union for something better. Most of the attacks I received were from old school union members who are still working since the late 70s to early 80s. None of the younger co-workers at the time retaliated. Yet, my toxic union job had actual union CO workers write a petition about me. They said I said they were stupid, which I didn't to them, although some honestly were. What I did say is that they were lazy. The lead gave all the best work to her people, a certain ethnic group, while the few good workers, I'm sad to say, were given crappy things to do. And the union let them. I'm bullying them because I stood up for myself. I retired early because of those nimrods. Preach. Stayed longer than I should have too. If you can avoid it at all, don't. I'm in a toxic job right now as well, and I currently have a final interview at another company. Get some therapy. I was in a similar position and suddenly my work at the new job went from great to an inconsistent mess of great and first draft new hire mistakes. Turns out I was carrying a fair bit of mental luggage and it was starting to get at me. I literally just woke up from a dream about how they fired me on the day before my voluntary departure. This is not what actually happened, you see. So yeah, therapy is probably a really great idea. Thanks for reposting. I've been in so many toxic companies here in Berlin. It's honestly awful. From a founder and boss basically firing me with severance because I asked about office dogs, to my boss in another company giving me the silent treatment when I dared to ask about contract renewals 3 months in advance, as I am required to sign on for job seekers assistance 3 months before end of contract. There's been loads more in between. Micromanagers. Sexual harassment. Racist stereotypes. I'm Irish and the amount of people who casually bring up stereotypes about drinking is crazy. Including one boss who actually implied I came to work drunk every day, having had beer for breakfast in front of my whole team. Anyway, I'm unemployed now. Silent treatment. Boss gave me only 3 weeks notice that contracts would not renew. But honestly, given the global situation, I've came through the existential crisis part and vowed to only work for social impact or meaningful companies. I also had a German boss who bullied me in private and in meetings with clients. It is strange because all the other Germans I've met have been lovely. Maybe it is an age thing? Anyway, even though I'm currently unemployed, it is still better than being under his thumb.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.